All right, what is going on, everybody? It's time for your Battleground review here on the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, and I mean always, an instant classic. I'm telling you, there's got to be at least one person that says it with me, and they just love it, and it's just their favorite catchphrase of all time. I'm telling you, at least one person. But it is DJ here. Casey is out on assignment, I guess is what I'm going to say. No, Casey's out with the chillins, so he is helping out the kids at one of the local camps where he lives. So shout out to him. You know, the ICWP, we help the community out. But I am joined today by Brandon Burnett, formerly known as UNCBB. I think that's what I really call him, and
Yep.
Amy from Dirty Deets. So we got some different faces. Well, you can't see them. Different voices. I don't know. Whatever. It does not matter. Battleground 2017. And Brandon, I just want to hear your overall thoughts because I liked the show. I did. I was a fan. Like I actually thought it was pretty good. But Brandon said it was terrible. He said, I mean, Charles Barkley impression all terrible.
Well,
Brandon,
no, okay. Well, let me explain myself. I thought the first match was absolutely superb. I thought it was great. It was a great match. Both teams looked great. It was a surprising outcome. I did not expect New Day to win the tag titles, but we'll get to that later. But after that, this seemed like the show took a steep decline, and it just the AJ match, the United States title match was kind of the ending looked really awkward. I don't know why. I just thought the pinning combination at the end just looked really weird. And the Nakamura Corbin thing, it's kind of BS. They're going to carry that out until next month. And I don't know. Like I said, Battleground. It seems like this is a fifth annual Battleground pay per view, and it feels like every year we have a screw job finish in the championship match in the main event. And this one had a screw job finish in the main event with the return of the great, not so great Khali. So, yeah, I was not a fan of the show post the opening match between the New Day and the Usos. And I really think that and you could tell the crowd really, really was dead silent during the majority of especially the last match.
okay.
So it wasn't.
Amy,
Go ahead.
What's up?
I was just saying, Amy, I know disagreed. Brandon, I know you look like you had a finishing point.
No, actually, I was. That was my finishing point. It wasn't just me who felt that way. I thought that the crowd in Philadelphia, which is usually a very lively crowd, looked like they kind of died a slow death. Died
Okay.
a very.
Amy, I know you kind of disagreed as far as Battleground's history is concerned. I don't know about this show in particular. What were your overall thoughts?
History, yes. I mean, if we go back to last year, Sammy and Owen stole the entire show. No one cared about the.
No. You are right. You're right. Last year's Battleground was actually really good. But the previous 3 years, you had 2 non-finishes in your main event. And that's just a complete ripoff. And thank God it didn't these pay-per-views don't cost $50-$60 anymore because I really feel like I got jobbed on my money. But Amy, finish your point. Like I said, I'm curious. I'm curious if you're going to defend this pay-per-view. See what you have to say.
It had some good matches. It had some bad. It had some good matches up until the finish. So I mean, it was a hit or miss type deal with me. DJ could probably pick the one match I really despised easily.
I'm gonna go with the women's match.
Yes.
I mean, I just
Not
know
the
you.
winner.
I just know how you are.
I know. It's not because of the winner. God, I love Natty, and I think she deserves that run. It's just how that match ran.
Yeah,
Natty deserves the win, just not how that match played out.
Gotcha.
But other than that, I mean, I give it a C because a lot of it was finishes, not the match in general, except a few.
All right. Well, let's jump into the show. I know we had a pre-show match that I really didn't get to watch much of. Hayden English versus. I can't remember his name.
Ty Dillinger.
Ty Dillinger, yeah.
Ten.
Like it shows how much I've been watching freaking SmackDown. It has not been much. Um, but, this match was okay. I didn't watch much of it. Like I said, I was still kind of settling in when this match was going on, so I was kind of watching it here and there. I'm definitely liking Aiden English's character. It's different. I really don't know what they're gonna do with it. I just don't. The only thing I don't like about this match is I feel like it's just kind of here. There's no real end to it. There's no real like meaning behind the end of it, end of this feud whenever that happens. So having it here on the pre-show doesn't matter to me. I would have rather seen like some sort of no more contenders match or something like that on the pre-show than to have this match, which I felt like, what are they gonna do with Aiden English after this feud is over? Probably nothing. And they might push Ty Dillinger, but you never really know, considering his booking, just in recent history in general. But Brandon, any thoughts on the pre-show match if you did get a chance to watch it?
To be honest with you, I didn't see a single second of the match. My friend that I went over and watched the pay-per-view with, he actually told me, he said that Aiden English won the match against Dillinger, and I was shocked because I actually, on the prediction show, predicted that Dillinger would win. So I was surprised. And but that being said, I just didn't watch it. The pre-shows, unless it's a match that I'm actually interested in, which it's been a while since I've been interested in the pre-show match, I just really don't care.
All right, Amy.
Well, it was an okay match. I mean, they both can wrestle. It just has no point. And they buried the two of them left and right. So, I mean, they're just there, to be honest. I love Ty, though. That's what sucks. He could be such a great mid-card champion, but they don't care.
Yeah,
And
I
since
agree.
the
He's got all the
yeah,
makings of being similar to Dolph Ziggler, in my opinion. Like
yeah, I
as far as
know.
talent is concerned, like it just kind of sucks because I think Casey and I have talked about this. I think Amy's even mentioned this before, but we all feel like he kind of comes off as Dolph Ziggler in a couple of ways. He works his butt off, but also he loses way too much.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you can say that about a lot of people in WWE. It feels like a lot of people, they have the good old fashioned, what my major pet peeve with booking in WWE, the 50-50 booking.
Yeah.
Where a
It's
guy
not
beats
not
somebody
anymore.
and then you beat somebody back. And it's just, honestly, I'd like to see somebody get on a winning streak for a change.
All right. Let's jump into the main card, which we started out with a New Day going up against the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. I was definitely excited coming to this match just because I know that these two teams, regardless of if you like them or not, or if you're tired of seeing them, or if you don't think they're that good, they put on good matches together because they've been in so many matches together. Um, I thought the false finishes in this match were great. Like there were a bunch of false finishes where it felt like it could go either way, and I felt like this was a match that felt like it could go either way. Like the Usos have been on pretty much an all-time high. Brandon and I have talked about this kind of you know, in our own personal time, when we do talk about wrestling, this has been the Usos' probably best run period. And, as far as not only character, but title runs. And, I was kind of, it could go either way. Like the New Day, obviously, they're the hot new tag team coming into SmackDown, whereas the Usos, they hadn't had the titles for a while and they kind of changed their characters and everything. And now, we're kind of seeing what we're seeing from them. I really don't like that the rap battle is like the whole basis of this whole rivalry. To me, it doesn't make any sense. The rap battle, obviously, I think builds on it, but I don't think it like I don't like that they're trying to make it as it's kind of the basis. Brian Zane has said that in his review. I for some reason I just feel like that's kind of weird. Plus, I feel like they took the wrong parts of the rap battle and tried to make it feel like it was bigger than it was. Like obviously the two big parts of the rap battle was the Page comment and the carrying bags for Roman comment. Like that was
Yeah.
I mean like I felt like they tried to like make the rest of the rap battle like the big like this is what actually got personal type of aspect and I didn't think that it really did. But definitely a good match. I love Kofi Kingston's trust fall that was caught into a powerbomb. That was amazing. I don't even know what to call this, so I'm gonna try my best here. The wheelbarrow facebuster that was reversed into a roll through facebuster by Xavier Woods. I mean, this guy, I love Xavier Woods so much. He's got so much talent that I think hasn't even really been tapped yet within the New Day, which I think is kind of a good thing because sometimes a faction can hold a superstar back, you can say, but it also allows them later on to be able to shine. So I like what they're doing with Xavier Woods. I also like the pairing of Kofi and Xavier as a bit of a change. I love the elbow by Xavier Woods into the super kick. That was amazing. And then I just love Xavier Woods' elbow. Period. It looks really good. He does a good job with it. But definitely a good match. I love this match simply because it felt like either team could win, and it felt like they were putting it all out there for the titles, and that's what I always like to see in title matches and number contenders matches especially. But Brandon, thoughts on the tag team title match?
Well, I already mentioned this already when I gave my thoughts about the show. This was definitely the best match of the entire show. Once again, just like it was at Money in the Bank, I believe this was the best match. It was great opener, got the crowd into it. The near fall after the Superfly splash was great. And that move where I think was either Woods or Kingston got caught with a super kick from the top rope.
Woods.
Yeah, that was outstanding. God, that was great. That was great. I actually thought that was the finish. I actually thought that was the finish of the match.
I did too.
I thought it was it. I thought that was it. I thought that, I predicted on the show Usos were retained. And a lot of predictions I got wrong on the show, and we'll talk about that later. But it's just a great match overall. Both guys, I think both teams, especially the Usos, are really coming into their own. They've really done a great job with this heel turn, and I believe. I would, if it was up to me, I wouldn't have ended their title reign last night. I would have kept the belts on them a little longer because I really think I just really think that they hit gold the last couple months. And the New Day is always going to be over and popular with the crowd no matter what. So it's actually kind of, like I said, New Day are pretty much bulletproof. So, yeah, I love the match. I kind of figured when New Day won, I said, okay, yeah, there's probably not going to be a WWE title change tonight. Because the babyface won the belt. I said, okay, that's probably going to be one of the few babyface wins. And I was right. But it was, like I said, a fun match. Loved it. One of the best tag matches I've seen this year on WWE.
All right. Amy?
Oh, sorry. I was Laredo Kid's on my television.
Hey, I mean, I'm not mad at
you. Oh, gotta love this. That was a great match, actually. One of the better New Day matches, in my opinion. The Usos always put on a show, so I wasn't worried about that. And it was, I think, it was like a wheelbarrow suplex that they kept reversing. It was weird. It was a great match. I was hoping Usos would retain, but at the same time, I knew it wasn't going to happen. I knew the New Day eventually was going to take it, and they actually used Xavier, which is rare in title matches. They don't really use him at all. He only does like live events. For some reason, I don't know why. He never wrestles, but he doesn't. So it was nice to see him, and he's ridiculously athletic. Just proved that, especially with that freaking long range Macho Man like elbow.
Yep.
From the top rope, and like a quarter away from the turnbuckle as well.
Yeah, that was a long elbow drop.
Yep. Other than that, I mean, it was a great match. I always love tit for tat. I don't like when it's just like one and done finishers. I like a few back and forth, so that was good. So I enjoyed, and I'm not too much of a fan of the New Day, so it's rare for me to actually like their matches.
All right. Moving on to Shinsuke Nakamura versus Baron Corbin. I was interested in this match coming into it, but I didn't really know how I would feel about it. I personally love Baron Corbin. It's my thing. And obviously, Nakamura is Nakamura, so it's kind of hard not to love him. But I felt like coming into this, it could have been a good match just because of the serious versus playful dynamics of it. Baron Corbin is very straight to the point and smash mouth about what he does, and Nakamura he'll play around with you a little bit. So I felt like there was a lot of those dynamics they could have used, but I don't know if they really did in this match. I don't know if they really let that, even from a character aspect, let that loose in this match. Um, I I feel like this also could have been one of those matches, and Casey and I have talked about this, where Shinsuke could have basically just gotten beaten down by Baron Corbin to keep building Baron Corbin and just continue to show how strong, how tough he is. And I feel like I don't know if they really did that in this match either. I don't really know what they did in this match. I still feel like this still as a roster for WWE is still one of the best that they've had ever. Just because I feel like a lot of times we talk about these people who just aren't good and can't have good matches, but then they come out and have solid matches. I felt like this match wasn't terrible. I felt like it could have been better, but I didn't. I mean, I thought it was relatively solid. Um, to me, the low blow ending didn't make sense. I felt like because Baron Corbin had this whole breathing room where he could come back, so why did he need to low blow him if he got himself a chance to kind of get his reprieve in? I didn't really understand that at all either. And then after the match, Corbin basically ends Nakamura's night with the end of days, and I felt like that kind of made this feud make sense there at the end because it makes it feel like they're trying to build Corbin as one of the top heels because he is Mr. Money in the Bank. And I've always been a firm believer that if you take out, if not the most over guy, one of the most over guys, you become the most hated guy. You can look at it when Kevin Owens took out Chris Jericho when he was going through the whole thing with the list. I think it kind of goes hand in hand with that. But this was a solid match to me. I didn't think it was bad. I felt like it could have been better, but I feel like they didn't necessarily put everything out there, but I still felt like it was solid. Brandon, thoughts on Shinsuke Nakamura versus Baron Corbin?
I thought the match was fine. I'm not a big fan of disqualification or just kind of screwy finishes like that. Low blows, potentially getting yourself counted out on pay-per-views. I think that's something that should happen on TV instead. But Battleground really is a throwaway pay-per-view compared to the pay-per-view that's coming up in less than a month, and that being SummerSlam. And that is where this feud's going. I think that's going to be one of your matches on SummerSlam is Corbin versus Nakamura. I'd be shocked if that wasn't what the plan was. But, it was good for what it was. It actually, I'm going to disagree with you, DJ. It actually kind of made sense that Corbin would result to low blowing Nakamura, because Nakamura really, honestly, was going in for the kill, if you really think about it. He looked like he was about ready to finish him off with the Shinkasa. I always mispronounce that.
Kinshasa?
Yeah, I always mispronounce that.
He's
my favorite wrestler, and I mispronounce the name of his move every single time.
Let's just go with the Boomerang. Let's do it. Just change it back.
What's that?
Let's go with the Boomerang. Just change it back.
Yeah, like I said, I love Nakamura. I think he is going to end up winning the rematch. I think he'll win because, really, honestly, with Corbin having the briefcase, it's no reason why he should win the match at SummerSlam. That's just my opinion. But conventional booking, the way things have gone the last decade, I don't think that's going to change.
All right, Amy.
Yes. Sorry, I was conversing with Sarah. Hello, Sarah.
Oh, Sarah, am I missing your comments?
No, Messenger. But this match, it was good-ish. It was okay. Then again, everyone knows I don't really like Baron Corbin. The man cannot fall out of a ring, or in a ring for that matter. But I disagree. They are going to carry it to but they're going to carry this to SummerSlam because I watched an interview and read a few things that states that AJ and Nakamura are doing a very slow build up for their encounter. Now, which is going to lead me to believe that AJ should retain at SummerSlam, and then maybe Royal Rumble might be Shinsuke and AJ. That might be one of their next go-to attempts. But this is kind of a pointless match, in my opinion. Pointless finish. Didn't make sense. And it doesn't matter whether Corbin loses or not. They're not going to have Shinsuke, in my opinion, lose to Corbin. There's no point when they're building him up. Yeah, Corbin's Mr. Money in the Bank, but he isn't threatening worth a damn. They don't even attempt. Carmella freaking threatens Naomi more than Baron Corbin does. He doesn't come near the title. He doesn't talk about the title. He's pointless as Mr. Money in the Bank. He is the current version of CM Punk when he was the World Heavyweight title holder in the late, somewhere mid-2000s when he was a mid-card talent. And other people were, main eventing and not him. So
2008, I believe.
Some late 2000, I don't know. But I don't know. The match didn't make sense to me. It was pointless. It was somewhat decent for the spots that they actually got right. But they need to do something with Baron, and this is the Andre the Memorial Battle Royal thing all over again. They say he's the winner, but it means nothing. He wins Money in the Bank. It means nothing. Last year, Ambrose wins, cashes in, creates one of the best cash-ins other than Seth Rollins at WrestleMania that the WWE has had. This is pointless as hell. They don't even threaten the WWE title at Money in the Bank with him because the match was after the fact. So,
Amy, I definitely agree with you. Especially on the Ambrose cash in last year. That was awesome. Especially the fact that they didn't drag out the cash in for so many months, and it really gets old after a while. But have done a piss poor job of Corbin's. Like you said, he hasn't even mentioned the WWE title since he won the briefcase. It's kind of odd.
That's something I want to kind of look more into because I'm trying to. I always say like after this is the pay per view where the next SmackDown and Raw I'm gonna actually watch it. So that's my goal for this month going into SummerSlam because I've been terrible about watching the weekly shows. I mean I know what's going on, but like you said, I don't know the small details anymore because I have not been able to watch the weekly show. So I want to see if they do something with Baron Corbin because the last time that I was watching, they were doing a good job. So, but this was before his Money in the Bank. So, but moving on to our next match, which I think is the women's match, if I'm not mistaken.
It
if I can
is.
get to the right doggone thing. We had Lana versus Becky Lynch versus Tamina versus Charlotte versus Natalya. Winner would go on to face Naomi for the SmackDown Women's Championship at SummerSlam. Naomi was also on commentary. She came out before the match. I still love Naomi's glowing belt thing. I mean, I love it. Like people are like, oh, it's so childish and it's so dumb and it's like the spinner belt and it's like I'm like, but
no, nothing as god awful as that spinner belt.
I don't think a spinner belt was that bad until it was used for too long. Like if they gave this title to Lana, just hypothetical, they gave this title to Lana. I hope not, but still, they gave this title to Lana, and she still had it glowing. It wouldn't make any sense. That's kind of where my issue was with the spinner belt.
Right.
But I feel like this title's fine. I don't know why wrestling fans desire individuality, but then hate it at the same time. Oh, we want these characters to be so bright and so big, but then they can't have their own championships. And it's not like they do this all the time. They only do it every once in a while with certain champions. So I don't understand, or with the world champions where they have their own little thing now.
Yeah,
but still, I don't understand why it's such an issue that the belt glows. Well, first off, it makes no sense for the rest of her body to be going and there to be this big black, just freaking like look like a doggone belt, like obviously a belt, like but no, like not a title belt, just a belt around her while she's coming out. So for it to glow up, I think is smart and a good thing. I like it, but I'll let you guys give your thoughts on that when you guys talk about the match, if you want to, desire to.
Well, I'll go ahead and tell you right now. I actually have no problem with the title being a glow belt because honestly, I actually think it looks kind of cool. I mean, you think about it, the wrestlers who've had title belts that are like custom. You know, the Ultimate Warrior was the first one I ever remember having a title belt with multicolored straps, and he had yellow straps, blue straps, purple. It was really cool, but it's ridiculous that people bitch about stuff like this. I mean, honestly, it's no big deal having the belt. I mean, would you rather have that butterfly back? That butterfly belt that they had for so long that looked ridiculous, and I'm so glad they got rid of it. I mean, it's not even nearly as bad as the fruit roll up belt on Raw.
But getting into the match, I, I love Lana, I do, and I try to keep an open mind with Lana, but she had some rough parts in this match. I'm not gonna lie, she had some rough parts in this match. I don't know, for some reason I feel like Lana, she's just weird in the ring. I don't want to say she's bad, but she's just
Awkward.
Yes.
yeah, she's just awkward. Like even in her selling, like the normal stuff, the basic stuff, the selling, it comes off like just like you said, Amy, awkward, and it just comes off like not looking. I don't know if it doesn't look authentic, but there's something off. I might need to go back and watch more Lana matches to figure out what it is. But I cannot put my finger on it, but it just looks weird for some reason. Um, I felt like Tamina, as much as I laugh at her so much for even having a chance in this match, I feel like she does what she does very well. And that might just be beating people up and doing her power stuff and saving Lana pretty much.
And
But
not talking.
yeah, not talking, but she does all those things very well though. Like I mean, I feel like she does a good job at what she's designed to do and supposed to do. Lana, will you please stop using the stack up cover every time you pin someone? Stop it. Stop it. It makes no sense. It's not logical. Ugh. Anyway, the thing I didn't like about this match is that like all the eliminations, I don't know what I was about to say right there, but it was not eliminations. All the eliminations around each other. Like there was no
Rapid fire.
yeah,
Rapid
there was
fire.
no build up to these eliminations, and I hated it. That's what frustrated me more than anything about this match.
Yeah, you had 3 consecutive eliminations. You had Becky put the disarmor on Tamina and on Lana back, and then you had her get rolled up with Natty pulling the tights.
Yeah,
It was really lazy booking.
it was. I didn't like it. I feel like with elimination matches, it should be more gradual. Like there should be more of a gradual to these eliminations. But whatever. I guess. Natalia did get the win, which I was excited about. I was happy that she got the win. I have been, and not just because I picked her on predictions, but I have been like so against Natalia, not because of her, but just because of the way she's been booked for so long. And like this was the first time in a long time where I felt like I was just like, finally Natalia got a win, and I felt like I actually cared about it. Like I was excited about her winning this match. Um, but Brandon, any thoughts on the Fatal 5-Way number one contenders match?
Well, like a fool, I picked Becky Lynch to win this match, and I should have known better. But of course, Becky Lynch got screwed. So who would have figured that? And Charlotte didn't need the win. Charlotte and that Naomi match, we've seen it before. We don't need to see it again for the belt. And I think Natty and Naomi, we actually have a pretty good match at SummerSlam, which I am going to revise my prediction. I believe Natty is going to win the belt or either one of two things going to happen. Naomi's going to win the belt in a hard-fought match, and Carmella's going to cash in on her, or Natalia's going to win in a hard-fought match, and she's going to get cashed in on her. And then that will turn Natty face and make Carmella a super heel, and involve Ellsworth in the two. But He said it was weird that you had no eliminations for it seemed like the first 10 minutes of the match, and then you have 3 eliminations in a matter of probably 15 seconds. It was really weird, but it is what it is. I think Natty winning. I'm happy. I'm happy for her. She's been in the company for a long time, and I feel like has she ever won the Divas or Women's Championship before?
Yes.
She did.
Divas title.
Yeah, and did she keep it for very long?
Decent run. Yeah.
Okay, like I said, that's just a blur to me. I feel like that was like either a long time.
It's when Beth Phoenix was in the WWE.
Oh Lord, that was what 2010.
WWE Hall of Famer, by the way.
That's right, she is a Hall of Famer. I still can't believe that, but I like her though. I like Beth Phoenix. But yeah, so that's my thoughts about the match. What do you think, Amy?
If there's words that
That must be said. Say them.
well, DJ knows my love and passion of women's wrestling. So one thing I promote the hell out of and will push for. I thought it essentially sucked. I didn't like it. I didn't like the spots. There was no real good spots. Lana took over first 5 minutes of the match essentially with some horribly missed moves. And I can see slight improvement in Lana, which is nice, but I don't believe she deserved to be in that match. I don't think they should have had her in there. She needs to go shipped back to NXT because it wasn't even 3 months, maybe like 2 months of matches is nothing. Or she just needs to have basic matches on SmackDown because all she's been on SmackDown Live is 3 title matches and this number 1 contender match. Naomi had it right on commentary. She did not deserve to be in the match. Now, I don't hate the person. I just don't like the character, and I don't think that her abilities are quite there yet. I always respect athletes because I am one, and I know what it takes to achieve your dreams and how hard it is. But we're all not perfect, and we're all not good, and everyone needs improvement. Lana needs improvement. Doesn't need to be in those high-profile matches, especially with veterans in the ring who know how to make those spots happen, and it's hard for them to make it happen when someone doesn't. Especially if you have her go up against a former indie wrestler who's had a wrestling background for 8 years and not a year, something like that. But the first 5 minutes were god awful. Lana missing everything in sight. I liked Bexplex City. That was nice. But usually in those types of matches, you have fighting outside the ring. All you had were women waiting to come into the ring. They were just lying on barricades or floor. You didn't have any outside action, really. And that's sad. That's another part of the match I like. I get that Tamina is Lana's enforcer. But what I don't get is how Tamina tapped before Lana did. Yes, Tamina helped Lana. Except Lana survived longer waiting for Tamina than Tamina did in general in the disarmer, which is kind of sad. Because the brute force power of Tamina is being downplayed, in my opinion, in that. They are pretty much putting Lana in AJ Lee's role from when Tamina was AJ's enforcer. Which, I mean, those two went hand in hand. That was great. Crazy and scary. Oh, beautiful. And I was hoping Tamina would get the win and get a push she deserves, but honestly, I don't think they're ever going to let her do it. Then you had a blink of an eye, for the love of God. Tamina, Lana, Becky. Holy shit. And then literally a minute and a half after that, Natty wins. But I don't disagree with the ending, per se. Natty winning, because I really do love her, and I think she deserves it after all that hard work. But you have Flair versus Hart. And if anyone has watched that NXT match, they know it was great. And you just wasted a perfectly good opportunity to make that match with 2 minutes. And Natty didn't even win via sharpshooter? What? What the heck was this cheap-ass flip into the – not even a flip. She rolled her into the bottom turnbuckle. No, not from the Queen of Hearts. They wasted so much possibility in the end. That is my opinion. I will shut up now.
I like that. I like that point. They did. Um, God, can we get? I really want to see a Natalia title run. Like, I feel like she just hasn't gotten her just due yet. Make it
She
happen.
deserves it. How long? She's been in the company now since what? 2008, I think.
Mm,
I think so. It's been a minute.
8 or 9.
For a long time.
She came up with the Bellas. I know they're coming up on. They've been in here for like 8 years or so. So about around that.
And really, honestly, she was the one who really. I mean, let's be real. She's the one who made Charlotte. She made like I really thought Charlotte was terrible at first, and when I saw that match between her and Natalia on NXT for the women's championship, I was really had to say I did. Natalia deserves a run with the belt because I don't think forever. I don't think she'll be around too much longer.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that she might retire within maybe the next maybe 2 years.
It's rumored that she's on her last run for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't blame her. I don't blame her. Especially, Tyson, unfortunately, he will never wrestle again. And say I actually saw one of his last matches before he got injured. That was sad, but
I've always
like I said,
good, though. He's been good. Moving on to the. Did I put something out of order? No, I didn't. For some reason, I feel like we've already talked about this match, but I think Brandon had mentioned it, and that's what got me confused. Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles. For some reason, it feels like we'd already talked about it. I don't know why my mind was like confused.
Shinsuke match. We brought up AJ.
Okay. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But I want to see this feud continue because I feel like these two guys can really elevate that U.S. title that everybody loves so much. It does look nice on AJ, though. I'm not gonna lie. He's coming out. I was like, okay, I like that. I do. I like that. Was that a Japanese arm drag by AJ that I saw? I like that. I thought I was pretty sure it was, but I was like, I like that. I was like, okay, I want to see more of it. Kevin Owens need to chill using the post like that. He just, bruh, stop it. And then at the end with the crossface kind of leveraged into the pin. I think it was surprising because I wasn't expecting, even though I picked Kevin Owens to win in predictions, I wasn't expecting Kevin Owens to win. So it was kind of surprising. I like it though. It was a good match. I still feel like I feel like it was good. I feel like for some reason something was missing. I don't know what it was, but something was missing from this match. I don't have a problem with going back and forth with the title, because I feel like if you have someone lose to the champion too much, like they start to fall down the card too easily. Because I feel like I don't know, like I feel like you kind of get this Sami Zayn versus Tyler Breeze dynamic as well on the opposite end, where like you lose, but at the very end when Sami Zayn goes after Neville and finally wins is this huge moment. Like I don't know how to feel about these back and forth title the back and forth title thing. Like I like it, but I don't like it, but I still kind of like it, but I don't know if I don't know. It's crazy, but I mean I know we want to see Nakamura versus AJ at SummerSlam, but I wouldn't be mad about Nakamura versus Kevin Owens at SummerSlam. Brandon, thoughts?
Well, I'm still holding out hope that we have Nakamura versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania next year in New Orleans, and I might try to snag a ticket to go down there if there's a possibility that might happen. And but that being said, and Owens, I actually expected a little bit more than I guess I have a high expectation for two guys I really like a lot. I think AJ is still the best wrestler in the world. I still think he is the best out there. The guy does amazing things to be. I think he is 40 now, and it's unbelievable what he does. Kevin Owens, I think he's one of the best heels in wrestling. One of the best heels in wrestling. I love him. I think he's great. Apparently, that rumor about him having a hurt wrist was baloney because he wouldn't have won the belt back. And
it might have just been less serious because he legit hurt his wrist.
What's that?
It might have been less serious because he legit hurt his wrist.
Yeah, and I heard he did hurt his wrist, but it must not have been as serious as they originally thought because that's probably why they took the belt off of him and then they found out, oh, it's not that bad. Let's put the belt back on. I'm not a big fan of the hot potato with the belts. It just reeks of late WCW where you just basically the belts mean nothing. I just don't like it. I'd rather would have guys have a longer. I'm not saying keep the belt for over a year, but at least like at least about 3 or 4 months, especially to establish these guys as great champions. Which Owen should have kept the U.S. belt and the Universal belt longer than he did. And but it was good for what it was. But I wasn't a fan of the finish. It looked the count, the 1, 2, 3 count at the end looked so awkward. It was almost looked like the referee effed up. I don't know if it was just me, but it just even the crowd was a little confused when it first happened. I don't know if it was just me. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. That's just how I felt about the ending. But we'll see what happens. So we'll see if they have another match or if it just gets dropped.
All right, Amy, have you given your thoughts yet?
No. I have some interesting thoughts.
Okay.
They're not the most pleasing because I agree. I think it was a botch. I'll at least start there. I think it was a botch on the referee's part or a botch to where maybe that was supposed to be a controversial finish where AJ's shoulder is supposed to be off the ground on the opposite side and it's not. Somehow it's supposed to be reversed, but unfortunately both shoulders were down. But I don't think it was supposed to end like that. It was somewhere botched because AJ was ridiculously confused, or they may have switched the call right at the end because I know they rushed the women's match and it seemed like they started to rush that match in the end. They had some good spots, good moves. Those two are two professionals. I love when they wrestle because they both can adapt pretty well. And they're not only athletic in the nature of the stunts, but they can actually wrestle. There's some great chain wrestling that they did, and that is what I like. I love stunts and everything, but if you can put on some good chain wrestling and reversals and actually wrestle and not just beat and break people, I'm happy. My biggest pet peeve is we can't see AJ Styles win the U.S. title. But we can see him lose the U.S. title in his first legit defense. The man had to beat Jason Jordan in one of the best matches I've seen on SmackDown Live in a long time and win a Battle Royal all in one night just to become #1 contender. And they're nothing. The man loses in his first pay-per-view defense of it. Again, I think it was a botch, to be honest, but something wasn't supposed to happen. Or AJ just got screwed and we don't know it. Because he was confused as hell. No one expected that to end like that. It was all confusion in the end. Maybe the ref got concussed after, AJ went flying into him. That was kind of cool. I like that. Definitely a good heel tactic. Throw somebody into the ref. That's always good.
That was a sick ref bump.
Yeah, he might have been a little unconscious for a minute.
Might have been a little loopy.
Ridiculous reversals from calf crushers into cross faces. I don't even remember one of those reversals. They would just keep going, and I loved it. But AJ took one of the worst bumps I've seen on that apron with his shoulder, so that sucked. He got slammed on that sucker. But no, that's one of the matches I didn't like the ending. Either it was supposed to be controversial finish or it just got botched. I don't believe that was wholeheartedly that was the actual finish at all. So We'll see it at SummerSlam more than likely.
All right, moving on to John Cena versus Rusev. I feel like we've never seen this match before, ever in life, ever, and ever, over a flag, ever. John Cena versus Rusev in a flag match. I was not excited going into this match just because we've seen this so much. I was just kind of like, the 4th of July is over. Stop it. No. But I felt like this match actually went pretty well. For some reason, Rusev and John Cena just know how to work with each other. I don't know. I mean, they've had a bunch of matches together. It probably helps. But still, like, they do a good job when they're with each other, like in a match together. I don't know what it is, but goodness, I love it. I love the chase to the flags, by both men. Kind of, no, you won't get the flag. You won't. I like that. And I felt like even more so to the pedestals. Like once this match really got going, and you really got a chance to see them really go after the pedestals at the top of the stage. I felt like it was done really well. Like I liked it. I love the visual of Rusev. He's got the match won. And he's going up his pedestal, and he's gonna, valiantly drop the flag into the holder. And John Cena just with both his hands, no, no, not my country. I love it. Like I don't know what, like I just thought that was really cool. Even when I was watching it, I was like, huh. I like this, but I don't know. I like this match. I thought it was good. Cena ends up winning with the AA from his pedestal through the 2 tables that Rusev had set up earlier in the match, and then putting his flag in there, freaking defiantly, dang on it. I thought he's gonna break the doggone thing. He put the flag in there so hard. But Brandon, thoughts on John Cena versus Rusev?
This was the most obvious outcome of a match that I've seen since Roman Reigns beat Triple H at WrestleMania last year. It was so damn obvious that Cena was going to win. But the thing is, it was good for what it was. I kind of think the flag matches are kind of silly. But this DJ, I know that you for a long time, but I kind of was secretly hoping that one of the guys would whip somebody into the turnbuckle and the flag would fall down. It just as a homage to the Ultimate X match where the off the little off the rope and they had to go get it off the mat. I just I have to say I've seen a lot of flag matches, especially back in during the Canada versus USA war in '97 in WWF. You don't see, usually all you have to do is just grab your flag. Interesting caveat of having to grab your flag and go up to a platform and put your and it is different, but I kind of like the tables with the AA. That was pretty cool. I love Rusev. Rusev deserves better, but at least Rusev didn't get pinned 1, 2, 3. At least it was a flag match, so I don't really think it hurts him too bad.
Yeah, I agree. Amy, thoughts on the flag match, the Russian flag America match?
Oh, I loved it so much. I took a shower during that match, and I still had time to see the ending. And I prepared my lunch for the next day. I did not care about this match. I've seen this match before when they had whatever dropped down, the flag dropped down.
Largest flag ever created dropped down from the ceiling match?
Yeah, that nonsense. I heard it had some good stuff in it, but I mean, I felt that they took precious time away from other matches that could have been great and added it to that match. That didn't need to happen. Oh, I mean, they work well together. I'll give them that, but this was a pointless one-off feud that they could easily make happen to bring them both back in the same day. That's all this was. Boredom. I didn't care. I showered during the match.
Well, I mean,
give the man credit.
I feel like we should move on to something you might care about a little bit more, and that's the Fashion Files.
Yeah.
I really like this. It's still kind of the whole storyline is who destroyed not Breezango, the Fashion Police's office. And I think these have been really entertaining. It's probably the best stuff that they've done ever because they don't get pushed. I'm done. Amy.
Well, yeah,
Well, I switched it that time. Sorry. Brandon.
I love Fandango and Tyler Breeze. I think Tyler Breeze is criminally underrated. That guy is so good, and every time I see these two now, I don't think of Fandango and Tyler Breeze. I think of their characters off of Southpaw Championship Wrestling. That was some great stuff. That was some great stuff. But I like what they're doing now. The parody stuff I think is great. It gives me good flashbacks to I'm a child of the '90s, so I appreciate the X Files parody. And when they did the Fashion Vice, the Miami Vice parody, I have to say, as a and you guys probably have no idea what I'm talking about. There's a show called Twin Peaks that I absolutely love that came out in the early '90s, and it's back now. I
No,
really
we're
hope.
definitely way too young for that. Totally.
No, I
Well, I might be. Amy.
no, I want to see them do a parody of that because honestly, it's a very weird show. It's created by David
It's
Lynch,
it's
so
good.
so yeah, it's a great show, but it's created by David Lynch, so it's going to be kind of weird. But I think it would be really fun parody, especially I think they could play those characters well. But I like what they. I have to say, I was a little disappointed that we ended with a cliffhanger with them both getting knocked out by somebody, which we guess we'll find out pretty soon, or probably by maybe SummerSlam who it is.
It was
And
Hornswoggle.
what
It was Hornswoggle.
it was. Well,
He came all the way
I'm
from
gonna.
Cleveland.
Well, guys, I have a prediction of who it is, and I swear to you, I think they're trying to make it out that it's Luke Harper and Eric Rowan.
Yeah, I
Because,
agree.
but I have a theory of who it is, and it's going to be an outside the box person or team. Sanity. I think it's Sanity.
That'd be
I
fun.
think it's Sanity. I don't think it's going to be a main roster call up. I think it's just going to be a one off. I don't. I think they still got some legs down in NXT.
They don't do that enough, so that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Amy, thoughts on the Fashion Files
Uh,
before we get into Mike Kanellis versus Sami Zayn? Or before you guys get into it, because sorry.
you know me, I love my Breezango. I bought the shirt. I support them. I am a cop who supports the fashion police. And they supported me with the tweet, so that was awesome. I like it. There's a couple different ways they could set it up, to be honest. I still think they're floating around a few ideas on who they really want it to be, and gotta love a good cliffhanger. I mean, that's what TV series are all about. And Tyler Breeze hinted at that with the series finale thing. I think they're gonna more or less set something up for SummerSlam. It's a little better. I like how the Ascension were like, yeah, it's us. And they're like, what? No, thank God. I can't deal with them anymore. I hate the Ascension. Always have.
Road Warrior ripoffs.
It could be Sanity, but I really don't think. I don't think that they would do that, to be honest. They have so much more options with NXT or go after a stable somewhere else in the main roster, not them. I would see Sanity more or less going after like on Raw, like Rollins and Ambrose type deal. I mean, you can make something of that, but not real Breezango. There's plenty of options though. I still think it's Authors of Pain.
Ooh.
That's what I want to see.
Ooh, okay.
I have to say one thing. I love those guys. And I'm usually not a big fan of Hoss tag team guys, but I think they're great.
Agreed. I like them too. Moving on. Also, real quick. Sorry, Facebook Live people. for some reason, people try to call me on Facebook Live or try to call me on Facebook as soon as I go on Facebook Live. It's bad luck, I feel like. But we are back now on Facebook Live. Sorry for the quick pause. But next match we had was not Maria. Sorry, Mike Kanellis.
You had it right. You had it right.
Might as well. Mike Kanellis versus Sami Zayn. This match was, it was okay to me. I like Mike Kanellis and Maria Kanellis' kind of characters. A little
I
like
love it.
weird.
Love it.
Like I like it. I love their music too. It freaking cracks me up. They do a good job with it. I'm just curious to see kind of where they're gonna go with this, or where they're gonna go with Mike more than anything, because it just, I don't know. It just kind of seems like I don't really know where they're gonna go with him after he's finished with Sami Zayn. Because even after he beats Sami Zayn, which he will, even after he beats Sami Zayn, I feel like you never really know what's gonna happen. I guess, because I don't know if Sami Zayn leads to anything great all the time, but pretty good match. Brandon, thoughts on Sami Zayn versus Mike Kanellis?
I
The husband
definitely
of
agree
Maria
with you.
Kanellis, by the way. I just want to make sure you know. The husband of Maria Kanellis.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you, by the way, about their theme song. As a child of the 80s, I love it. It reminds me of power ballads from a cheesy 80 movies, so I really like it. But for what it was, I have to say I got a kick out of for almost what said Mike Bennett. Mike Kanellis' jacket with Maria's face on it and his tights with the lips on it. I kind of got a kick out of that. But on Sami Zayn, I still think he's the kind of guy I think could lose a lot, which he has been, and I think he'll still be fine. It works for his character.
If there's an actual meaningful end to it, though. Like yes, it works when he's battling against Tyler Breeze and losing every single time, and Neville says, "We all know you can't win the big one," and then he wins the big one. That's when it works. A great feud, by the way. My favorite NXT feud ever in life. I just love it. It's my favorite one.
Stuff.
But I don't know if Amy's still with us right now. I know she probably had to go get laundry or something. Usually that's what happens with Amy.
Yeah, that's what happens. Everyday life type of deal.
I was entering the door, sorry, and texting. So I muted myself. Sorry. I was listening now.
Do you have any thoughts on the Mike Kanellis versus Maria match? I love their matching attires, by the way.
I know.
Mike Kanellis versus Maria?
What? No.
What you said, DJ.
What did I say?
You said Mike Kanellis versus Maria.
Oh, sorry. No. Well, I mean, if we're talking about love, yes. Amy, thoughts on Mike Kanellis versus Sami Zayn. Sorry. He actually won the match.
I know. It'll be I think there'll just be a small feud. I think Mike and Maria are in a holding pattern until probably after SummerSlam until they figure some things out and how they want to take them, to be honest. That's what it seems like. I mean, the little interrupting tidbits by Sami are kind of funny. Honestly, though, I think they're on the wrong show. I think they need to be on Raw and go up against The Miz and Maurice because they would be awesome.
Oh, it would.
Oh, that'd be some good stuff.
It just would make sense. You have two women that could go head-to-head on the mic pretty well, and then you got two very talented athletes, and Mike. Oh my God, Mike and Maurice and Mike and Maria. Oh,
it's a lot of M's. It's a lot of M's.
So I mean, you have it all right there.
And also think if they go to Raw and the night after WrestleMania, that crowd is going to sing their theme song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that will be an awesome thing to see or to hear, because that is such a catchy theme song. It's almost as catchy as Bobby Roode's, even though Bobby Roode's only says one word in it.
There's more than one word in that theme song.
Oh yeah, that's right. Glorious, I will be there. But it repeats the glorious over and over again. But it's
the chorus, of course.
Yeah, it is the best. It's the best theme song in wrestling.
It's a debate for later. However, I think they could also be maybe setting up Mike and Maria versus Lana and Rusev if they want to keep them on SmackDown. That would be good because someone can finally shut her up, and I'll eventually be blocked on Twitter by that woman if wasn't blocked last night. So I'm done.
All right, moving on. I think we're on the main event, if I'm not mistaken. If I can get to my
Punjabi.
the
Poo-poo.
Punjabi prison match, Jinder Mahal, your modern day Maharaja, and your WWE champion. Why do they have this man coming out first? Why? 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 Sorry, I hate that. I hate it so much. And we're looking at a modern day Maharaja. And he's coming out first every single time. Stop it!
The challenger should come out first.
Yes, I agree. In every aspect. The only time a challenger shouldn't come out first is if it's like Undertaker or Bray Wyatt, where you have to just make you watch the entrance or something. Something like that.
Exactly. You're exactly right.
Anyway, it was kind of weird seeing him by himself again because like it's been a minute since we've seen him come out by himself. I still love his theme song. It's stuck in my head. I've been singing it like all day.
I like his entrance. His entrance when he came out and it was all the Titantron was black and you'd see it looked like fire was following him when he was walking.
Yeah.
That was a really cool visual.
Yeah, I love it. I was excited going into this match. I am not a big hater of the Punjabi prison match. It's just me. Like
I think it was fine.
Yeah, I actually like it. I liked it the first 2 times. I remember Batista versus the Great Khali, but for some reason I don't remember a lot of the Big Show versus the Undertaker. Yeah, for some reason I just don't remember that one as much. Probably because it was back when pay-per-view was like too much to pay for every single time you bought it. But I mean, I enjoyed this match. I like this match especially for what it is. It's an interesting type of a cage match with this reinforced steel bamboo stuff. Bruh, they need to chill with all that steel reinforced, bruh. But I love the inner structure with the chasing the doors dynamic, like trying to get out of the doors. I think even in the one with Batista got closed up in the door. I was actually hoping that would happen this time. That was just me. I like that dynamic of it. If you don't get out of the doors, then you got to climb over 2 structures, and I like that dynamic. Even though Randy Orton cheated, and you're not supposed to be able to step from one side to another. That's not how it works. That's not how this is supposed to work. I love the RKO out of Jinder Mahal's finishing move. I can't remember what it's called right offhand, but I love that RKO. It's nice. I like that. I feel like the Singh brothers were everywhere in this match. Like they've
been everywhere. All 3 of these matches.
Yeah, I know that they're like J&J security. Like that's what they remind me of so much. I love them coming out from under the ring and pulling Jinder Mahal out, and Randy Orton just like, bruh, really? He was just so frustrated at that point. I like that. The Hangman's DDT from the Punjabi prison was beautiful. Like I love that. I like the way they set that up and everything. It was nice. I love the kendo stick shots. Beautiful. Freaking the blood. Beautiful. And then I don't know about you guys, but like it was crazy. But when the Great Khali returned, Randy Orton, went from one structure to the other, whatever, and now he's climbing back up. He's about to win, taking everybody out. And I hear Jinder Mahal's music, and I'm thinking, did Jinder Mahal win? Because you know how they do those finishes where you don't see the person win, but they won? I thought that was what they were doing. I thought he like escaped through like one of the holes, got his big old body through one of the holes, or like there was like some sort of crazy opening he got out of or something. But the Great Khali comes out, and I'm like, holy balls, the Great Khali is back. I was so excited. Like I'm not the biggest Great Khali fan. I am a little more optimistic about the Great Khali because the Great Khali came out and did what he was supposed to do during his time that he was supposed to do it. So I'm not as down on the Great Khali as like the entire rest of the world is. But I thought, I don't know, I liked it. I was so excited to see the Great Khali come out, and it surprised me. I wasn't expecting it. And that's what I talked about before in the predictions, when you just kind of take yourself out of the I know everything in wrestling aspect and just watch it as a fan. Sometimes you just forget that things, are kind of even set up to happen. And I feel like that made this match more enjoyable to me. And Jinder Mahal retains, baby, the modern day Maharaja. I love this man so much. They're not words that can explain how much I love this man. Like, I want him to be champion forever. Well, okay, now that was hyperbole. Still,
Yeah,
I
I think that's reaching. That's reaching.
I already said it, and I can't take it back. So don't at me, bro. Anyway, this was a good match, though. I liked it. Brandon's thoughts on the Punjabi prison match and the return of the greatest of Khali.
Well, I'm gonna be mean to Khali. Khali seems like a pretty nice guy. He seems like a nice guy to me, but he makes Kevin Nash look like Ric Flair in the ring. Oh my God! Even walking out there, I was scared he was gonna fall down.
He's a big man. Come on.
He's a big guy, but he has.
Man.
If he got up on the cage, I was terrified he was gonna fall off of it. He didn't have to go very far, but the run-in, honestly, I found out that there was a possibility that would happen, I think, right before the main event. There was a rumor that he might show up in the main event. When he came out, I just laughed. But I actually like the concept of the Punjabi prison match more than I thought. That's the first time I've ever watched one live. The other two I didn't watch live. I watched on, I think I watched on either on DVD or YouTube. I can't remember exactly. But, I like the concept. You have to talk about one of the Singh brothers going through the table.
Yeah,
Pretty good bump off the.
Crazy.
Yeah, that was a cool ass bump, and it looked really painful. I would not have wanted to have been him. I can't remember which Singh brother it was, but because they both look so similar.
Amir.
Yeah, and I like those guys. I actually really like them. It is funny. They kind of remind me of the ass kicking they get from Orton. They remind me of some of the Joker and Riddler's henchmen from the Batman TV series. They just get punched, and all they got to do now is just put the bam, pow sound effects in there. I think that pretty much is their characters now. They just are just henchmen that just get beat up. But, they take the majority of the punishment. Mahal, he hit. And like I said, I like the presentation of Jinder Mahal, especially him coming out. Like we said earlier, I just thought it looked really cool. But like I said, Orton's a very weird wrestler because sometimes he can be great wrestler, like great presentation and everything. And sometimes he can be as dull as dishwater. He's so boring. And really, I hope to goodness this is the end of this feud, because 3 consecutive pay-per-view matches with these guys, Jinder Mahal's won all 3. Be the feud.
Hey, there we go. No 50-50 booking there. Let's go.
But like I said, it looks like we're gonna get. I can't believe I'm gonna say this, unless there was a one-off appearance. We might get Khali versus Randy Orton at SummerSlam.
Oh goodness,
boy, man! I tell you, like I said, Khali. The only time I really ever enjoyed Khali in anything was his appearance in The Longest Yard. I've never found him very. He's a very big man, but.
I like the Great Khali for what he is. I know he's not going to be the greatest wrestler of all time. He's freaking like 8 foot tall. He's not supposed to be. Now, I know he's not. He has limited mobility too. So like, it all just makes sense to me. I just like him for the big powerhouse. I'm gonna chop you and do the choke your lights out. Like, I like that aspect of the Great Khali. I have never in my life said the Great Khali was the greatest wrestler of all time.
No, nobody. No, I don't think anybody on with a
Hey,
functioning
somebody's a
brain
huge
with
fan
it.
of Great Khali. Where's his mama? His mama probably think at least. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
Amy, thoughts on the Punjabi prison match, where your modern day Maharaja retained?
No, I don't like that match. Never have, never will.
Okay.
I find it to be stupid. And
Okay.
Sarah brought up a good point. If you're there live, you can't see diddly. It's one of those hard things. You just can't. So honestly, if you're there live, it's worthless to be. Because what are you actually gonna watch? Nothing.
Well, you're watching it on TV. You're watching it on the screen. Like that's about.
Yeah, look up. I came here and watched it on the screen. Yes, totally. No, I didn't like it. I never liked that match, and to begin with, so it's stupid to me. Wish Randy would have retained. I knew the Khali was coming back. That had actually been a confirmed rumor a few weeks ago. But he doesn't seem to be a one-off. He is listed on their active roster, so I think they're going to use him for probably, a little while. Just in the aspect of Jinder Mahal, I don't think they're going to go far from that. He suffered from some type of disease. I can't remember. But that's where his maneuverability and health issues came from.
He might have had the same disease Andre had.
It's similar.
Yeah.
It's not the exact same. It's similar. But I don't know. I've never liked that match. I never will. I find it to be stupid. And they're going to somehow draw this crap out. But I think Cena is actually supposed to defeat Jinder for the title. I think that's where it's going next.
No, the modern day Maharaja family.
I think that's where it's supposed to go next, to be honest. And like I said,
that's exactly where I think it's going too.
But because I think that's where he breaks the record, and I think that's what's going to happen. Because God forbid you worry about your Money in the Bank contract winner. God forbid. I don't think this man is going to have a title thought until months after SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Months.
Yeah. Well, no, the thing is, I actually think there's a possibility he could cash in at SummerSlam. But
they ain't going to cash in on that. Are you kidding me? They're not going to take. Look, Cena becomes 17-time world champion. They are not going to take that from him at SummerSlam. Cena is WWE to Vince McMahon.
When did he get 60?
Where were you? He had it. Charles Robinson was there for it.
Royal Rumble.
Was that the Royal Rumble?
Styles. Get Styles for the belt. Yeah, that's right. That was a great match, too.
For some reason, I did not realize that was 16.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't want, and this is me just being picky. Cena does never really bother me that badly. Do think it's a little ridiculous that he really loses. He really doesn't lose. He just basically brushes off and says, "Oh, you can't beat me again. You freaking idiot! You lost." And but
athletics though, isn't that sports in general?
Yes.
Yeah, realistically. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
And you win again.
You get hit in the face, you get back up and say, "Do it again."
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I still think Cena is the world's worst babyface. He is a god awful babyface, just like Reigns. Just not a good babyface. But Cena winning the belt a 17th time, I think that he can get his 16th and 17th world title reign in the same year. Just kind of nuts to think about. And that's what it looks like this is going now, with Cena beating the big bad Bulgarian, and now he's got to defend the honor of America again against a Canadian Punjabi man. That is the most tired stereotype in wrestling altogether, is the American hero conquering the foreign villain. Old and tired.
I feel I've been wanting to go through controversial discussions, so there might be a discussion on is John Cena the GOAT, and I'm probably gonna bring on a huge John Cena supporter just to defend it, because I know Casey's gonna say no. I know most people are gonna say no.
Let me talk to them. I'll gladly argue.
Okay, you'll be here too, Amy.
You know me. I
But
like my
I just
arguments.
want to. I just thought that would be an interesting idea of some things to do. Like a lot of these topics that like people love to discuss, but I don't know. Maybe. But anyway,
I'll,
that
I'll
was
bring my
your
chart.
oh god, that was your Punjabi ground review. I mean, sorry, battleground review for 2017. I thought it was a pretty solid show. It had its ups, it had its downs, but I mean, I thought it was pretty solid. I'd go watch it again. I've watched it twice. It's amazing what you can find when you watch something again. Like it's amazing how much different things look when you watch it a second time. But and I didn't watch it all the way through. I kind of skimmed through it a little bit, but still, you still learn so much. You see so many different things that you maybe didn't see the first time you watched it. But definitely, I thought it was a solid show. I'm excited for SummerSlam definitely, and we'll see you guys next time. Be sure to find the Facebook page. It's in the description. You don't even have to find it. All you gotta do is click it, the link below, and all you gotta do is press the like button, and you be good. We go live on Facebook. We are live on Facebook at this moment, right now. Unless you're watching the replay, then obviously we're not live. But we hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button for us. Give us a like. If you watch this video, you gotta like it. It's a thing that must happen. So be sure right now that you're liking this video. We'll see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed. Follow Amy and Miley at DD_Amy_Miley MYLIE. Follow Brandon on Twitter at UNCBB78. If I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, you're right.
Okay. I didn't want to make sure. I didn't want to make sure. I wanted to make sure it wasn't 8-9 because I've seen 8-9 somewhere. I don't know where. I might have made it up. But we will see you guys next time on the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast. Be sure to go be like Casey, bruh. You suck. Don't come back ever. No, don't tell Casey that. He might take it seriously because he takes Amy seriously too much anyway. So anyway, we'll see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed. This was your Battleground review on the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, say it with me, baby, and I mean always, an instant classic.